So in the CSGO community, there is a rivalry between Europe and North America, and a lot of people can get very annoyed by it, especially the North American players, because they feel that the EU guys are a little bit disrespectful by saying the EU is better and yada yada yada. If you play the game, you probably know what I'm talking about, but I think this is actually really good for the game, and it actually helps the competitive side of CSGO a lot. So if you look at regular sports, a lot of people pick their teams by where they're from. So I'm in the Philadelphia area, so I like the Philadelphia Eagles, for instance, if we're talking about football. But when it comes to esports, there isn't a team in every major city, and also it's an international thing, so people will either pick the best team in North America or the team with their favorite player or whatnot. But a lot of the times it seems to come down to the North American players like a lot of the North American teams, and the European people like a lot of the European teams. So it creates this rivalry, and it creates these like fan bases that really support their teams and really want to see them win. And rivalry can only be good because it leads to more stiff competition, and it leads to the games feeling like they have a little bit more at stake. When I'm watching games, other than if it's Fnatic, because Fnatic is my favorite team, and I know you're probably gonna rip my fucking head off because everyone hates Fnatic for whatever reason, but yeah, whenever I'm watching a game, unless the team is playing against Fnatic, I'm normally rooting for the North American team just because I'm from North America and I want to see North America get better at the game. And speaking of North America getting better at the game, I feel this rivalry makes it so that North American players would like to get better. There's this big rivalry, and there's this big thing between that European players are better than North American players, and I feel the North American players play with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Like, they want to get better, they want to show that they can compete with the top teams in the world, but none of them have really been able to do it, unless you count Cloud9, but that was maybe for only a few months. This also leads to a little bit of shit talking, and shit talking is always good if kept in good context, I guess you could say. Shit talking can get a little bit out of hand, like when Freakazoid was coming at Simple, that was maybe a little bit uncalled for, but shit talking in general is good. It leads to the matches being hyped up a little bit more, and it leads up to, you know, more interesting matches. If you've ever watched UFC, there is a good example of this. The fighters will constantly shit talk each other, and then when they actually get to the fight, it's so hyped up and people want to see it because there was so much shit talk that it leads to a more interesting fight. And in this case, it leads to a more interesting CS match, and it's not necessarily the pro players or the ones who are shit talking here, it's more or less the fans that are going back and forth. And it always goes something along the lines of this: yeah guys, Liquid might actually be good now, look at the new roster, they got Simple, they got Kusta, they got Hiko, and then some EU players, like, they're North American, they're fucking shit, and then it just leads to a flame war in the comments. And then, you know what, it just leads to a more interesting match because you want to see Liquid win, or if you're European, you want to see whatever European team win. I think we're going to start to see more and more rivalries as CSGO gets bigger and bigger, and we're going to see more and more teams. There's already individual rivalries, goddamn, I can't even say the fucking word, but there is rivalries right now between, like, Fnatic and Envious. That's probably the biggest one right now, if I had to say, even though Envious is starting to, you know, peak, it seems like. But, you know, it's really good to see rivalries. It's something that keeps the game fresh. It's something that makes the matches a lot more exciting, and I think EU versus NA just drives this home even more. It leads to way better matches. It makes me a little bit more invested in the game and makes me want to, you know, actually watch these matches more than, say, something like just a random match that doesn't really fucking matter. But thank you guys for watching this video. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Are you a fan of the whole EU versus NA thing, or do you think maybe it's gone a little bit too far? Tell me in the comments down below. And if you like this video, how about you hit that like button? And if you dislike this video for some odd reason, how about you hit that dislike button? And if you're new, how about you subscribe? And when this video does reach 300 likes, we'll be able to the next one. Should be sure to smash that like button. But yeah, guys, this has been the Chosen One Inc., and as always, peace out.